classification, according to the FBI, the killer had to kill 5 victims. He said that now he's killed his 5th, he could now stop, adding that he just wanted to see if it could be done and would probably not do it again. So it's such like a, I just want to see this can be done. Let's go and kill 5 people. It's not the sort of goals in life you should have.
Yeah, usually your bucket list is like climb a mountain. Go to Nepal, climb a mountain. I don't know. Become a serial killer.
No, that's definitely not on your to-do list. Or at least it shouldn't be. Yeah, it's an odd one. So yeah, he said that he probably wouldn't do it again. Not definitely, probably. And it wasn't until 2 days later, on the 15th of June, where Emmanuel's landlady called the police to report his death. So, even so the guy kills Emmanuel, calls the police, tells them to find the body at a location of a fire in South London. For some reason, the police still don't find a body, and it takes the landlady of the actual building to discover the body for them to realise.
But to be fair though, in the police's defence, how fast did the fire go out? Because you said it didn't really catch fire.
I think it was enough, but
was it enough to cause a commotion sort of thing? Or?
I don't think so. Maybe. So
that's probably why they didn't know.
Maybe you're right. God damn you. Ugh. God damn you. But still.
By all means, I'm not defending the police in this one at all.
No. I mean, they
are really incompetent.
They seem to be, anyway. Until Detective Superintendent Ken John takes over the investigation.
Ooh.
And this guy is a fucking boss. Because he almost immediately connects all the 5 murders together. He makes a public appeal to the gay community directly to be careful, to be alert, and to let friends know of their whereabouts if they go with any strangers.
Good going.
He also, on the 17th of June, goes on national TV to address the killer directly.
As if.
There is video footage online if you guys want to search this.
Oh, I'll definitely be searching this later on.
He tells him to give himself up, essentially, and that the lines are open for the communication.
Ooh.
On the 19th of June, so he's working real fast, this guy. He's working days in between these things happening. On the 19th of June, Detective Superintendent Ken John had police handing out flyers, as it was the London Gay Pride Festival, actually, that day, which could have been a fucking horror show. Imagine if Colin had access to these people. 50,000 people attended that year, which is an awful lot. Especially considering a lot of people went out. That's quite a big number. So yeah, they handed out flyers to the gay community, the gay pride, appealing for anyone with information about the murders to come forward.
With the same as the previous murderer, in the last episode, did he set like a anonymous?
Oh, we gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. This next bit is literally just a long list of all the good things that this guy, Detective Superintendent Ken John, did to bring this case to a close. He brought in a psychologist called Dr. Mike Berry to draw up a psychological profile of who the killer could be. Dr. Berry said that the killer was fueled by violent fantasies, but each murder was never as good as the fantasy, and he therefore was driven to kill again and would kill again.
So that was wrong, right?
I don't really know. By violent fantasies to kill, I mean, he did have the fantasy to kill.
Yeah, he did, because he wanted to become a serial killer, but it's not the fact that each kill that he did, he wasn't satisfied with.
Well, there was something to do with the kill that he wasn't satisfied. He wasn't satisfied with the lack of recognition he got from each kill, maybe. Maybe?
Yeah.
Either way, this one, the next guy, is spot on because Super Detective, I don't know, it's fucking long ass title. Ken John, anyway, Detective John. Let's call him Detective John. Or Detective Ken. Ken, that's his first name. So Detective Ken was like, no, I want another opinion. So he brought in yet another psychologist, Dr. Jonas Rappaport, who did pretty much agree with the previous guy's ideas, but he added, and this is spot on, he believed the killer was not himself a gay man, but was posing as one in order to attract his victims, saying that he would be well organised, probably of a large build and physically strong, which made him very confident in his ability to overpower his victims. Which, when you see, this is a picture of Colin at the time, you can tell though that he's no longer the skinny dweeby kid that he was. I mean, he was still tall. I can't remember the specific height of him, but he was still relatively tall, and obviously he's a big build.
He looks hench.
He looks like, you can just tell with that fucking neck, man. That neck. There's like the head and the neck are one. They do not have a separate entity. They really are. It's weird. So well organised, built to organise victims. The police actually gained further advice from criminal psychologists Paul Britton and Dick Water, as well, and get this, motherfucker, as well as FBI agent and serial killer specialist Robert Ressler.
FBI agent?
Now, you might not recognise the name of Robert Ressler, but you'll know him from his work on Mindhunter. You know the TV show on Netflix? Mindhunter that we watched? About the FBI agents in the 1970s? Who actually come up with the whole...
one who written the book?
He's the dude who wrote the book.
Oh, as if!
Yeah, so the guy who wrote the book for Mindhunters, who was like one of the first people to coin the word serial killer, who sort of wrote the Bible on serial killers, they brought him in on the investigation, and this is really weird, Colin actually was reading Robert Ressler's book as a sort of how-to guide.
As if.
How weird is that, as a little sort of coinky-dinkle? That's quite a cool thing. That's like in a movie where like the person being chased, it's like that really shitty movie The Raven. Remember that? Where it's like Edgar Allan Poe, another movie. You fell asleep, you didn't like it. It's not the greatest movie. So he brings them in, they're getting all this information coming through, they're really building a good picture of who this guy is. Even now, some of the gay community, they do have a slightly renewed but still cautious faith in the police. They start to come forward, as the police did promise anonymity to anyone who had any information. So they weren't going to prosecute anyone, they're going to keep everything secret. And thanks to the witness descriptions, the police were able to get a detailed description of the man who left the Coleherne pub with Emmanuel Spiteri. The eyewitness descriptions combined with CCTV footage from the train station the night of Emmanuel's disappearance were able to give them a clear image of the suspect. So there is a CCTV image of him. Well, you can see from that image there he's quite a
big bill,
a big bill guy. Detective John appealed again for the man in the CCTV image to come forward for questioning. Obviously, with the CCTV image, actually, for the 90s, that's surprisingly clear, that photo.
To be fair, it's what it's like now.
They are better now. Some of the CCTVs are better now. They do have sort of more clearer ones, with colour and shit as well. But yeah, he appealed for the man in the CCTV image to come forward for questioning. And the following day, the police received over 40 calls, some of which were from men, as he's saying they had seen that specific man and spoken to him in the Coleherne pub. So they're narrowing down. Like this is Colin's beginning to sweat a little bit now. On the 19th of July 1993, Colin went to his solicitor to confess to actually being the man in the CCTV footage and to confess to being with Emmanuel on the night he disappeared. But strangely enough, despite... This is what's weird, because he said he wanted to be a famous serial killer and all this shit. He doesn't confess to the murder. Deny it? Yeah.
What?
Instead, what he says that he was at the pub, was with Emmanuel, but that he left Emmanuel at his door with another man. Don't know why he says that. But, and it's a big but, Colin actually walks straight into the police station to tell them his side of the story, his bullshit side of the story, not knowing that he'd already made his biggest mistake that would seal his fate.
What?
The night of Andrew Collier's murder, Colin had ever so briefly took a moment to look out of the window.
No.
And it's there where he left behind just one single set of fingerprints. He had no idea the police had these. He thought he had cleaned the place from top to bottom. And for all intents and purposes...
He did.
He did at every other crime scene. But one single set of fingerprints on the window.
Gutted.
As soon as the police had him in the custody, they matched his prints to the one at the scene, and he was immediately arrested. How amazing is that? So, we're wrapping up now.
That detective guy was a fucking beast.
He was. He sort of was like, step away, boys. Let the big boys do their job. And he just went ham in on this investigation. So no trial was actually held, as while he was in the custody, Colin did break, and he finally confessed. Again, the full... there are clips. I don't think the full confession is on there, but there are definitely clips of the confession on there. Which is some of the things which I watched, which are just, like I said, the tone this guy has is just so weird and disjointed from what you would imagine someone who took people's lives to. He shows no emotion, and he gave the police a full, detailed description of all the killings. In Colin's confession, he emphasised 4 particular points, so there was 4 things he just really wanted to make clear. Firstly, he had not been under the influence of drugs or alcohol at the time of the murders. It makes it any better. Secondly, he was not gay or bisexual. Thirdly, he had not himself undressed or engaged in any sexual activity with his victims, and he was very clear at saying he gained no sexual thrill from the murders. And fourthly, this is a weird one, but he says that he held no grudge against the gay community, and that he'd chosen gay men as his victims simply because they were, in his words, easy targets. He claimed it was actually extreme male deviancy that triggered his anger, which had begun with his experiences with the paedophiles in his youth. He said his victims were deviants who just happened to be gay. I don't get why he would call them deviants. Some people just always say how gay are.
How can he say that when they're the ones who walk up to him? So as soon as they walk up to him, their class is a deviant. Because these guys are a deviant.
I don't know. I don't know where he was getting this fucking thing from. I think it was just sexually promiscuous.
Deluded, that's what he is.
Yeah, maybe sexually promiscuous people. He was like, oh, deviant. Fuck off. Psychologists saw the strategic plan of placing items related to childhood on the victim's body, i.e. the teddy bears, the doll and the cat, as some sort of symbolic symbolism of Colin's own loss of innocence as a child because of it. It was on the 20th of August 1993 at the Old Bailey in London where Colin was charged with the murders of all 5 men and sentenced to life imprisonment for each of the 5 killings. So we got life for each one. Life times 5, baby.
Good.
His name was on the last published list of whole life tariff prisoners, which means literally he was one of the very last people in the UK to be given a life sentence when life actually meant life. So,
How long does life mean now?
Don't know. Don't ask me that question. I would be guessing. We can give it a Google after this.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I really don't know. Because you hear people get life and then